Good day everybody, this is BA Radiantdawn, and dang do I have a video for you guys today. Me and a bunch of other FE Fire Emblem tubers will be going over our picks for our favorite units of 2020. Before we get underway, I want to thank every one of the fellow YouTubers that pitched in to make this idea a reality, and a special thanks to Link King 7 for his support as well. He really worked overtime to make this video possible. Big thanks to you, good sir. So sit back, relax, because it's time to get this video rolling. Have fun, everybody! So, my favorite unit from 2020? Well, I could easily say that it's Flame, the best support girl, you know. 30% damage reduction, odd recovery, really solid build. I really like this build. I'm really pleased with how she does. She's a great support unit. I could say Halloween Robin for the Pawns of Loki factor, and just any mode really. Halloween Robin is just such a good unit. Constant rehealing. I gave her res smoke attack smoke just for huge debuffs in Pawns of Loki, which is basically essential. Duo Dun, who is the cutest duo unit, or unless you want to count, Trio Pala. But, yeah, they're so cute. I like this unit. One-shots Brave, like, any armor unit, including Legendary Edelgard, which is really big deal, considering Legendary Gale Force Edelgard just runs right into her in Pawns of Loki and just commits suicide, basically. Like, with stats like these, an armor-effective weapon, Duo Idun's a problem. But none of them really compare. These are all close calls for me. There's a few, these are all really good units from 2020. But my favorite one out of them all is Halloween Zane. Now, you might wonder, why is Halloween Zane my favorite from 2020? Well, his weapon. His weapon is just that good. That's the only reason why he's my favorite, really. Is his weapon is just that amazing. So what his weapon does is it basically steals the stats of your allies and turns them into in-combat buffs, as long as their stats are higher than his. So he could have any stat as a dump stat, he doesn't care, he just needs HP. That's all he needs is HP. And in a mode where, like, he's surrounded by units, like, Grand Conquest or Pawns of Loki, he steals so many stats from a lot of big time units. Like, here in this video here, he's stealing stats. He's stealing dual alms speed, which is like close to 50. Like, look at this: 23 defense, 50 plus 21 speed, probably. Like, that's pretty impressive. And he's gaining Duo Idun's defense and res, so he becomes a total stat wall that takes no damage from really anything. If his allies die, though, his stats go back to normal. But plus 21 speed, 23 defense is nothing to scoff at. 14 res as well. He builds himself into a tank. And, like, look at this. He's taking on a Brave Alina one roundinger. No problem. Why? Because he's getting all these buffs. 55 speed, 45, 51 defense, 50 res. Any visible buffs that his allies get, he steals as well. He's just such a good unit. I give him close foil, just so he can counterattack at close range. I gave him infantry boots, infantry pulse, sorry, just to help him boost, quicken the special cooldowns for his units that he's supporting. So I kind of made him into a support / tank unit, which is really, really cool that I can even pull that off. Like, the only downside to him is if his allies die, his stats go back down to normal. But his stats are already mostly okay, so it doesn't really matter anyway. All he really needs is a unit with high speeder in his vicinity, and he's just fine. The attack, the defense, the res, that's just bonuses. That's just the ice cream. It's like the cherry on the ice. Cherry on the ice cream, you know? You can't get better than this. I love this guy so much. And every mode I use him in, he does so well. Like, Ether Raids. I usually have him as my +1 with Regan, as you can see in the video. He's my extra unit. typically he'll wipe out at least 2 to 3 enemy units before dying, and just cutting the enemy team in half before you actually lose any lift, any bonus lift, is just so broken. It is so broken. So yeah, this is Halloween Zane doing what Halloween Zane does best, which is being a stat wall and taking no crap from anyone. So there's a bunch of YouTubers after this. You guys should definitely listen to them too. Some of them are really good friends of mine. I want to say all of them are. They're great people. And let's hear what they have to say. Off to you guys.
Hello humans. I am Link King 7. How's everybody doing? I guess we're here to talk about our favorite unit in 2020 that was released in Fire Emblem Heroes. And while I'm not really the biggest fan of Fire Emblem Heroes lately, I'd be lying if I said that they weren't really nice to me in 2020. Some of their unit selections and representation was actually pretty good this year, so I gotta commend them for that. And yeah, they spoiled me rotten. They added Fiora, they added 2 Selenas, not just one, but 2 Selenas, the Summer Selena and the normal Selena. Very, very nice. However, neither of those takes my favorite unit of 2020, because obviously if you know anything about me and what I stand for, that's gotta be Shamir. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was streaming Breath of the Wild and a bunch of people hopped in and they started spamming my chat. My viewer count went up by like double. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, stop what you're doing. You gotta go see what the banner is. And I opened it and it was Shamir. And I had to reinstall the game at that point because I think I had it uninstalled. Something pissed me off. Faye pisses me off a lot. But yeah, I reinstalled and I pulled for Shamir, and she's probably on the screen somewhere, and you can look at her. She's beautiful. Why do I like Shamir? I guess we're supposed to talk about that. She's just an overall fantastic character in Three Houses. Three Houses has a lot of very standout characters, but Shamir is someone who shows up, is one of the more mature characters. She's not a student, she's one of the teachers. And you immediately notice she's got like a cold and rough exterior. But as you go along in the development and you learn about her supports and you move on in the story and stuff like that, you start to realize that she is someone who is very passionate and cares about her students, and not only just on a superficial level, but on mentoring them and teaching them into the future as well. Some of the endings, like her ending with Leone, is amazing, where even in the future down the line, she's reminding her of sort of the lessons that they had that were in their support conversations. So yeah, I mean, just a fantastic character. She's also got her own trials and tribulations that she's gone through with her past. She's from a different country that was war-ridden, and she had to learn sort of these lessons the hard way and work her way through as a mercenary, and then she eventually got to the monastery. So, you know, it's a very strong presence in the story, a strong character that you don't really see, someone who's gone through all that personal growth in the past and then is imparting them on their students and on everyone who's associated with them in the future. It's just very refreshing. You know, characters who get stronger and improve are things that I usually look for in video games and in real life too. You know, people who improve and get past their trials is something that I really respect. So I very much respect Shamir, and she's also very good looking too, so that helps as well. I think that's all I have to say. I probably went and rambled a little bit and went overtime, but yeah, that's my favorite unit added in 2020. I hope you guys like the rest of the video, and thanks for having me on. Catch you guys next time. Peace!
Hi everyone, I'm Madeline, and my favorite unit added to Faye in 2020 is the Axe Baby herself, Annette. Annie is my favorite character from Three Houses, and one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters in general, so I was embarrassingly excited to see her make it into Faye. I think I cried for about an hour the night the trailer came out. Annie is just such a bright light, and I admire her for her ability to keep that light going, even while navigating a life that's really been full of darkness and tragedy. After all she suffered with her family, she's still able to be this unwavering force of comfort in the lives of her friends. And it's not because she wants to rush them into premature healing that their hearts aren't ready for. It's really because she earnestly cares about them and wants to help as many people as she can. Because I love Annie so much, I definitely would have plus 10 merged her when she joined Faye, no matter how good a unit she actually turned out to be. So it was really an added bonus that she showed up with pretty impressive base stats and a preferred weapon with adaptive damage and an amazing support function. Ever since I finished merging her, she has quickly become one of the units I have the most fun using in Faye, even separately from how much I love her as a character. For now, I have her with a pretty basic build because I'm still trying to acquire the premium fodder that she deserves, but I am making the most of the Valentine's Grail I murdered to give her Fury 4 in the meantime. So, rest in peace to him, and I promise the 72 attack Annie has with that skill is going to the very worthy cause of her being able to fight her bad dad Gilbert if he ever dares to join the Faye roster.
Hey everybody, JBR here from JBR Channel, and my favorite unit in Fire Emblem Heroes is easily Dimitri. I recently got back into Fire Emblem Heroes, at the end of 2020, and my only initial goal was to make my son Dimitri as broken as possible. I pulled him for free and he had some excellent skills without much planning. All you have to do is send Dimitri in the middle of combat and he kills every last one of them. How, you ask? Well, all you have to do to decimate your enemies is to use Dimitri's best skill, the end turn button. Evil Emperors? Nah, killed while you take a dump. Don't want to do your taxes? No problem, send Dimitri out and end turn. Don't feel like cooking? Order food, then hit the auto battle, and by the end, everyone will be dead. You know, this is starting to sound like a commercial. See, for a big stupid dum-dum like me who's not good at the game, it's super satisfying and easy to send Dimitri out and watch him destroy people's super technical builds. And hell, he even one-on KO's pesky 2-range units. TLDR, for a big Fade noob, I got to level up one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters for little effort and he kicks all types of ass. If you like this little clip of mine, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, link in the description. I make tons of Fire Emblem memes, scripted videos, and Let's Plays, so it would mean a lot if you came and checked out my channel. Anyways, enough selfless promotion. Goodbye, guys.
Yo guys, what's good? It's your boy Tacho here, and my favorite Fire Emblem Heroes character released in 2020 definitely gotta be Fallen Ike. I mean, you guys were there. You all saw my reaction to that trailer live. Probably the most over-the-top reaction I've ever done on camera. So it was pretty obvious that I was hyped for him. But not only that, like, just the concept of a Fallen Ike. Of course, if you've played the Tellius games, you would know that Ike would probably never succumb to dark intentions, I guess we could call it. But in a what-if scenario, if Ike did take hold of Leren's medallion, basically means that he went down the same path as his father. So, as they say, like father, like son. And come on, it's just Ike, my favorite character of all time from arguably my favorite game of all time. So, can't go wrong there. And if you want to talk about how good Ike actually is in terms of the meta, he's got to be one of the best for sure. Aether Raids especially, Fallen Ike is a god in there. Chaos Ragnall has been so perfectly tuned for that mode, coming with built-in distant counter, and then giving the middle finger to all of those debuff structures like the Infantry School and the Panic Manor and both of the Shrines. All of those are very common in Aether Raids, and Ike just basically takes them and turns them into stats for himself. So, pretty awesome. And as if Chaos Ragnall wasn't enough, he also comes with Mayhem Aether, basically just an edgier name for Radiant Aether, so pretty cool there. And he can easily just ramp into it with breath effects, or maybe Valoria support, or Brave Lucina support. And statistically, he's a very strong unit as well. He ties with Marita for the highest base speed out of infantry class units. And of course, he has that juicy super boon in speed. So with that much quickness, he's very good on both the player phase and the enemy phase, since he can initiate double attacks if he wants. And of course, we have all of these speed-based damage reduction skills. So despite Ike having somewhat low res, it's not really going to matter too much to him in most situations. And I feel like Ike is going to age very well into the future. We're already starting to see it with the release of some of these Unity skills, where they interact so well with Chaos Ragnall. Attack and res Unity, for example, is so bonkers on Fallen Ike. My poor Aether Raids defense team has been smashed by Fallen Ikes left and right. It seems like anytime someone brings him at plus 10, I just end up losing automatically. So there you guys go. Fallen Ike, I am calling him my favorite character of 2020.
Hello everyone, my name is Jigjetty, and my favorite Fire Emblem Heroes unit of 2020 was the King of Thracia himself, Trevant. Trevant may seem like an odd choice to some, but the reason I chose Trevant was because I didn't get good luck for the heroes I tried to pull that year. I'm looking at you, Legendary Self. Trevant was a heroic Grail unit, which meant I was able to get him without having to rely on orbs. And since Trevant came out around the beginning of 2020, I've been able to use him a lot more than other heroes that came out later in the year. I don't play heroes as often as other people, so I rarely get to plus 10 a unit. So when I do, that unit feels special, and I was able to plus 10 my Trevant a while back. Because of this, Trevant is now one of my best units. Combat-wise, Trevant has some pretty high defense, so I built mine to be a tank for my army. He fits pretty well into the role, and a good defense skill helps him fulfill that role. Trevant also comes with Ignis, so that helps him deal some massive damage with his defense as well. I hope that in the future we get a Gen 1 Trevant from FE4. That way he can use his holy weapon Gungnir. Some people didn't like how Trevant didn't get Gungnir, but it makes sense as to why he doesn't have it if he played FE4. Trevant is one of my favorite Fire Emblem villains since he has a reason to be ruthless, unlike a lot of Fire Emblem villains who are just evil because the plot demands it. Trevant is trying to claim fertile land for his country that can't produce enough food for his people, due to the terrain of his country being ill-suited for farming. He will show no country mercy, because no country has shown mercy to his country by helping Thracia with their food shortage. Trevant is an underappreciated unit, and an underappreciated character. However, I will always appreciate him, and he will always be my favorite unit of 2020.
Favorite unit in Fae, huh? Well, for people that know me, I doubt they'd be surprised to hear that the answer is Lyn. But within the realm of heroes, that's almost comically vague. So let's narrow it down a bit. At least presently, my favorite unit in Fire Emblem Heroes is the somewhat recently released duo Lyn Florina. Now this was my pipe dream pair-up since the concept of duo heroes was introduced. I've been a fan of a pairing since playing FE7 back in 2003, but with modern IS's Warpath and how they reinterpret their female leads in games of an avatar, I wasn't exactly hopeful. But hey, looks like they threw me a bone. Design-wise, it's a fairly novel pivot of each unit's original appearance. Florina mostly just borrows her original color scheme and Ilya's ice motif in her shuriken, while slightly redesigning her headwear to better resemble a thin ninja band. But Lyn has a few neat nods. Putting aside the overall design parody for usual pseudo-Keepow getup, she actually borrows quite a bit from her old and new color schemes. The orangish-yellow leather on her waistguard matches up with the older illustrations of the character, wherein her sash is a light orange. But the cord around that waistguard is the same red used in modern depictions of the character, seen in things like her legendary depiction or the character sheet used for her figure. And, as noted within the Fae channel itself that dropped the banner, the red and blue shurikens that match the palettes of her Soul and Monikade icons in FE7, which were themselves just red and blue palette swaps of the same overall sword. The overall design probably isn't as much of a departure from her base as some would like, but it's nice to have a design that's still recognizable to the character. I'm personally not a huge fan of Kotaro's female illustrations, but even if a cute over cool angle he often takes isn't exactly to my taste here, he's definitely improved sizably since Fae's inception. But from a mechanical standpoint, this unit's an offensive monster, and that potency combined with a unit conceit is why Ninja Lyn takes the top spot on my list. A brave slaying weapon on a unit with flyer mobility and extremely solid offenses is completely absurd in practice. Slap something like a moonbow on her, and against enemies without guard, she'll pop that special twite if she hits the doubling threshold in quads. But if you do what I do, and just slap on Deathblow 7 and Speed Defense Rain, you're getting effectively 18 might added to each hit, with a guaranteed mood bow. Quadding isn't even really required in that case. And with her duo Gale Force factored in, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to be taking out a unit or two. Speaking frankly, this is another step in a long line of units absolutely sprinting past the benchmark for balance. But given Fae's warpath of constantly jumping the ever-enlarging shark, there's a part of me that's actually happy to have a cookie-cutter means to vault it with a unit I like. And while I'm not 100% sold on things like the reduced voice line count duo heroes get, the duo conversation itself, or the unit epitaph, Fae giving due to the childhood friend route is always something I can smile upon.
Hello, everyone. I guess I was requested to talk about my favorite unit from 2020. And, well, after the tragedy that was Julie Apocalypse that happened last year with the Dark Burns banner, I wanted to say that Fallen Julia was my favorite, but since she was color sharing, I accidentally ended up with this atrocity that became my favorite unit of 2020. And I guess you can just see how this guy just outright power creeps. Regular legendary Ike. This Ike that I don't even use anymore. That took me a year to plus 10 because I'm a clown and didn't think this was coming. What makes Ike so good is his Chaos Rhino that basically turns all his penalties into debuffs. I mean, all his penalties into debuffs. All his penalties into buffs. Which works wonders in AR because AR is debuff central. And the standard kit that I run is Fortress Defres. And Pulse Smoke is a given. And then Quick Repose to bypass all the sturdy impact Ellie Woods and whatnot. Just bypass sturdy impact in general. But I know another fun skill that I think everyone has seen is the Unity skills on Ike, which gives, on top of the Chaos Ragnall effect, it stacks with attack res Unity, so you can just see some really ridiculous stat gains, you can say, during the battle combat. If you want, I can even show you guys. It's just, you guys want to see me dismantle my own team? Here, I'll even switch the seasons. We can just see, we can even add a flame, just for more cancerous activity. And duo Micaiah with her dominance nonsense. Now, the thing with the attack res Unity is that it works best if you somehow get panicked, I guess. But even if you don't get panicked and you just have Fallen Ike, he just tears through any team with ease.
Let's go together. Away we go. Ready. Yes.
Now, this is my standard team for AR. I have the dominance, the T-pose skill, because I just don't care anymore. Just pop a T-pose.
What now?
Dance him.
This way.
Leave him on purpose in front of this panic manor that I have not yet fully upgraded. Leave Flame behind them. Leave everyone behind them.
You choose.
Those are some nice stats, huh? Let's just end my turn. Oh boy. Debuffs for me. And whoops, auto suddenly I have 42 attack and 58 res.
I won't run.
And mind you, this is a plus 10 legendary Julia. Every unit here is plus 10 except Fallen Julia due to reasons. Oh, here's round 2, and look, I do 0 damage, and I have 60 res for some reason.
Death's caress. Yes. Away we go.
Now, let's rescue, dance. Plop him right there again.
I'll destroy it all.
Oh, look, I killed Selef too. Up here's another instant iceberg. Oh, look, I have 25 res.
Be quiet. Be still.
Oh, it's only 10 damage. Thanks, damage reduction. This man is literally too angry to die. That is Fallen Ike Steel. He is too mad to die.
Of course. Yes.
Now, Fallen Ike against Fallen Julia. Still have 21 res.
Yes, Lord Manfroy.
Up, there goes Julia. Now that left is Sylvia.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Ike one-shots her. Thanks to my plus 29 attack. And there we go. That's me dismantling my own defense team. And proving that, wow, my Fallen Ike was indeed an accident that happened because I really did want plus 10 Fallen Julia. He is actually my main carry of Light Season. And what can I say? I'm grateful for this boy for existing. Even if it was under painful circumstances. So that was my favorite unit of 2020, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
While I particularly do not like to play heroes, I like the fact heroes allow representation of characters that might have gotten low representation in their games. Of all the heroes released in the year 2020 in Fire Emblem Heroes, in my opinion, Shannon is the hero that stood out to me the most. Shannon is one of the coolest Fire Emblem characters in the series. He displays quite a bit of maturity when he was young.
from telling the truth to unfortunate events, to understanding that, as the Prince of the Kingdom of Isaac, he has authority over his people. As a figure to look up to, Seliph views Senan as an older brother of sorts despite not being related. His hero's artwork represents royalty to the most elegant degree and shows off its charismatic looks as the crown prince of Isaac. His kit in Heroes is an accurate representation of just how fast he can get in Genealogy of the Holy War, which is always an added bonus in my book.
Is this enough?
Hey, I'm SpeedyHawk and I make various Fire Emblem videos on YouTube. My favorite unit that was added to Fae in 2020 was surprisingly Tsubasa. Prior to the TMS banner, I really wasn't open to the idea of a collab banner in Heroes because I thought it would just feel awkward, but I gotta say, all 5 of the characters that were added to the game feel like they fit right in. Armor and cap effectiveness are some of my favorite attributes on a unit, and I feel like her playstyle has a really fun and unique gimmick to it. It really makes you feel like you're playing Tokyo Mirage sessions when you use Tsubasa. TMS is all about teamwork and coordinated combos from your other party members, so having Tsubasa become stronger if she attacks last is an awesome callback to the Session Skills chain system. Blade Session works perfectly with Mirage Feather, giving her a ridiculous amount of attack and speed, and a 100% desperation effect if she's not the first to attack. I put Guard Bearing and Attack Speed Rain on her as well because they really boost up her survivability. And her Aerobatic Seal just gives her the amount of mobility you would expect on a Rocket Pegasus. I was so pleasantly surprised with the TMS banner, and Tsubasa's cute design and overall offensive potential just makes her a joy to use for me. After I pulled the first copy of her, it was hard to pass up more merges.
Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and my favorite character added to Fae in 2020 was Brave Claude. I cannot say enough positive things about this unit. He is useful in so many different modes in the game. I went with Close Foil and Guard for him for a little bit more of an enemy phase set, but he is fantastic in the player phase as well. As long as he is near an ally, he has incredible survivability, and he is really useful against so many of those very common threats in the game. He is a unit that kind of breathed new life into a lot of the game modes that I found frustrating, so that is why he is my favorite new addition for 2020.
Let's finish this! Another successful scheme!
Howdy guys, I'm FLO8, your favorite Wolf Girl enthusiast, here to talk today about my favorite Fire Emblem Heroes unit from 2020. Fire Emblem Heroes. For all the flack it gets, it's a game I find myself on every day, always having fun with my favorite units. 2020 was a pretty great year in terms of units, though I'm still salty about the devs blocking out my Sacred Stone Summer Sun with a shade upon my very existence that is Mia. Stupid Mia. Coming out before Marissa, still being a stronger unit, getting her refined when I still don't have one, ruining my fun in the sun. Whatever, get hecked Mia, you still can't compete with my Springtime Bunny. In truth, there are many units I'd love to talk about here. Summer Sylvain brought my sunny days back, especially when I was able to plus 10 him on his return. I got super lucky and plus 5 Shamir with 200 orbs. The Sacred Stones banners this year have all been fantastic, despite them being somewhat plagued with units from other games, with Ducel and Kellic really being phenomenal units for me. All that aside, the unit I've decided to talk about today is none other than Patrine.
You really do know how to sweet-talk a girl, don't you?
To properly talk about Patrine in Fae, I have to sort of preface this with the team I'm using her on. Here you can see my Seth and Titania, somewhat basic enemy phase builds, but ones I've had an absolute blast to use. They've truly created some of the most fun I've had with this game. I cover all stats with link skills, give them supports with each other, and run goad and ward skills, and otherwise orient them for enemy phase with skills such as stances. As you can see here, Patrine is not so different. I even went as far as to grab a Brave Dimitri and give her attack defense unity so she won't fall to the same garbage that my Seth and Titania might fall to. That is to say panic skills and stuff like Freya ruining my entire day. Additionally, you might notice that Patrine brings 2 additional things, both greatly needed. She hits res, and she's a lance user, completing the weapon triangle. It's somewhat harmonic and truly quite beautiful and fun to use, but it doesn't just come down to the units being good. The team is also themed quite nicely, in a way that I have yet to achieve elsewhere. As you can see here, my team is Seth and Titania, my 2 favorite heroic Cavalier units from FE8 and 9. And here's Patrine, my favorite enemy Cavalier from FE9. Now all that's left is my favorite enemy Cav from FE8, Orson. With that and that alone, this team would be complete, no matter what type of unit he ends up being. He could come as a red sword Cav who hits res, or maybe absorbs HP with the rune sword. Or he could be a generic lance Cav to mirror Seth, and I'd be completely happy. Of course, the thing I'd like to see the most is for him to come as a Fallen character with his wife slightly obscured in the background, kind of like a Fallen Berkut with Renea. I'd be so unbearably happy if that would come to pass. The new Knights of Renea are almost complete, and he's the final piece. In the meantime, I'll just be chilling with my All Might Do Cell and Midnight Patrine theme team.
Ephraim has grown strong. There's nothing left for me to teach him, it seems.
Where are you going, Grape Juice? The gate's the other way.
Anyway, back to Patrine. As a unit, she's been nothing but exceptional for me. Hitting res, having super high attack, and being about as tanky as any Cavalier can be short of units like Ducelle and Pirate Veronica. She hits beasts for effective damage too, which, while niche, has been very useful. And her modern day stat spread is enough to make her arena viable where many Cavaliers are not. No complaints from me. She wins the battles I need her to, and she's always a valuable addition when I need to pack that extra punch in PvE, and she performs on par with modern day units in PvP. As you can surely tell, Patrine has been an incredible addition to the game for me. She's filled a spot in my roster and in my heart. She's a formidable and interesting unit, and she's symbolic of my love of team building in Fire Emblem Heroes. No other game allows you to do these sorts of things, building these nicely synergized teams that also fill a fun and satisfying headcanon. 2020 was a bad year for many reasons, but not included among those reasons is Fe. And I wait in excited anticipation to see what the rest of 2021 could have in store for us. My thanks to BA Radiantdawn for including me in this video. It was a lot of fun. If you like, feel free to hop over to my channel and subscribe. I mainly do Fire Emblem Let's Plays with twists and Fire Emblem GBA hack LPs, with a touch of Heroes now and then, and some scripted analysis videos in the works. I've been FL08. Till next time, see ya.
Hi, this is Eldervi. My wife and I are an artist duo mainly drawing Fire Emblem. As I'm also an Aetherites tryhard, my wife encouraged me to share my struggles with the whole world, and so we've come up with this unique Aetherite series, which gives life to the characters through a live chat next to the match, where they share strategies, original lore, and, well, most of the times they are either arguing or at each other's throat. Who am I kidding? We're producing the Real Housewives of Asgard. My favorite unit of 2020, who I also brought to Rival Bromains 21, is Pirate Tiban. He's a regular guest in my videos, loved by the audience for his unique struggle of using the Beok tongue. I'm a huge fan of Gale Force strategies, as they need exact planning, but reward you with an instant win if planned out well. Tiban's base kit pretty much brings everything you could wish for. A weapon that gives him an auto follow-up for being isolated, on top of an attack buff to win heavy blade checks, slaying effect, and free flyer movement while being transformed. He also got Heavy Blade 4 for cooldown reduction and extra damage, as well as the new Dive Bomb skill, which gives him the desperation effect when both he and his enemy are above 80% health. A threshold which is easily met and also requested, as Tiban needs to hit twice in order to activate Gale Force. I've rounded out the build with one of the new rain skills and attack speed solo. With this, he gets an actual stat line looking like this. Plus attack or an attack def rain look like obvious improvements, but with Heavy Blade 4's extra damage, I often find myself in situations where Tiban kills frail enemies with one strike already, resulting in him not Gale Forcing.
Where's the loot? Hi. Need something? Consider it done. With utter certainty.
Instead, I went for the extra speed in order to overcome some null follow-up units, who would disable Tiban's second attack and therefore his Gale Force, but also to save him from being doubled by enemy mages or archers, in case I can't block the last enemy unit in Aetherites to get to the pots. Tiban is a great unit already at only one merge, no need to throw out all your orbs, and definitely recommended for any Aetherites Gale Force team.
And there we have it. This has been all these various YouTubers' favorite units from Faye from 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a blast making this video. Again, big thanks to all the people that pitched in. This video wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Literally, it would just be me talking about my favorite unit, and come on, have fun with that, am I right? If there's anyone whose channels you do not know about, did not hear about, some of them are going to be more obvious, others maybe not so much. Check them out. The links are in the description below. Click those buttons. Check out these guys. They're all amazing. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, let me know which unit was your favorite from 2020. I'd love to hear from you guys. This is an amazing community, and I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, all that fun stuff. Again, sorry if I'm repeating myself. This has been an absolute fun project, and I hope to maybe do this kind of thing again. It was a blast. So, see ya. This is BA Radiantdawn, signing off.